From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of evenings LA with incredible great news about your forced stimulus check update of 2021 as that forced stimulus recon is becoming law. It's going to become law in the next few days. I have the latest details from Chuck Schumer, who says the vote will happen before Christmas. Then, when will it become a law, and how quickly will the money go out? In this recording, we go over the incredible forced stimulus recon, the biggest payout you ever see in the history of this channel, and why you're going to get on average about $15,000 just to start. It's a lot of money, and it's all in this incredible forced stimulus recon. And in this recording, you want to get a pen and paper ready, because I got a lot of information to deliver to you. The incredible checks, each of them, one at a time, you need to learn that are in this recon, multiple checks. But you got bills to pay. It's the holidays. You want to have some extra cash to buy some holiday gifts. You can. It's called third stimulus, Christmas stimulus. And in this video, you're going to meet thousands of other viewers who have learned in the last 2 weeks how to do this. And in tonight's recording, you're going to learn how to get more of this money than you've ever seen before. When it turns to that student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, plus the breaking details about this stimulus and the surprising and developing nuances going into the next 48 hours. As the Federal Reserve is about to meet in the next 48 hours and deliver the guidance for next year and this economy. Will it tighten? Will it spike those interest rates? And how quickly? The latest details, but the great news is that there's lots of different sums of money coming to you across the board. First, third stimulus paying your money right now. Holiday money, stimulus money, Christmas stimulus, it's right today. Then, fourth stimulus right behind it. Thousands of checks, lots of checks, upwards of $15,000. Lots and lots of money in this incredible fourth stimulus recon. Right behind that, we go into fifth stimulus. We have a big night. We have a lot of exciting details, a lot of breaking news. I have all the data, all the information. Stay with me to the very end. Get that pen paper ready out, because I want you to learn all this incredible money. And it starts right now. Hey, good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful evening. Across the board, here we go. That recon is going to become a law. And it's going to become a law this month. And it's going to go to a vote as early as this coming week, says Leader Schumer. I'm going to go over those Senate changes that go into that recon. The big checks that are going in there. There's a lot of checks. Upwards of $15,000, the biggest payout you ever seen in the history of the channel. We'll be turning to third stimulus, and this is your holiday stimulus. How viewers have learned and listened and really gotten so much money, averaging out $5,000 across the board. In the last few days, I'm going to show you how to get this Christmas stimulus in your hand. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. Fifth stimulus, the latest details coming up on that in this recording as well. Then we turn to the big nail biter as the Federal Reserve is about to speak in the next 48 hours. December 14th, December 15th, to give us guidance as where it's going with this economy and its Fed stimulus in the next few days. Boy, it's an exciting evening. There's a lot happening in this recording, so I want you to subscribe. Go right on this video right now and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers in a year, a YouTube record. Become part of the #3 most watched financial news channel in the United States, between both broadcasts and internet-based. Like the video, 2,000 likes, and consider becoming a member today so you get that incredible newsletter that goes out Monday through Friday. The membership link is at the top of the video, and also sign up for those LA alerts. And as we go into a big night, here is what you need to know. That recon is becoming law, the vote happening in just a few days. And that recon paying massive sums of money. How much money are you going to get in this incredible recon? At least $15,000. Get your pen and paper ready and start to take notes, because this is your money. You need to learn how to get every single penny of it across the board. And here we go. Average $15,000 of checks in this incredible recon. And it's splattered across 3 clusters and 3 add-ons. Let's go over each of them, starting with the first one right now with the hazard pay and the $4,000 of elder care. Got it in there. Hazard pay for my earned income tax credit, essential workers 1 more year. $4,000 of elder care, got it in there. $4,000 of care for young children, and got that in there as well. The Pell Grant, $550 check for my college students, got that in there as well. home repairs of the low-income community in there, and $12,500 for the purchase of your first home. Wow, there's a lot of checks in this recon that's going to pay you about $15,000. You need to have that pen and paper ready to go over each of these checks. Write them down as you hear them on air, because we're so close to this becoming a law. You got to pounce as a purple hawk, and get that money before anyone else, because it's first come, first serve. If you're in the live chat and you're writing something like, what day is it landing in my bank account? Does anyone know the amount? You're not listening. You need to focus on these checks. These are the big money. You need to learn what they are. Bring your questions, write them down, because we have a new show coming to this channel in just a few days in which I answer your questions live on air. Let's go to the second add-on of checks. Comes from the illustrious Maxine Water. The first add-on of checks from the illustrious Maxine Water. It is money for the purchase of your first home. A lot of viewers are very excited about this, like Lynn Glenn. This was going to be $25,000. It's a little bit less. She wanted $25,000 for you. How do you get it? Stay with me. It's coming up later in this video. In the second cluster, we got other home repairs paid leave as well. We got the household tax credit and the child credit, the universal pre-kindergarten as well. It's the holiday season. You got to winterize your home. Not winterize your home, weatherize your home, so it can sustain natural disasters, like every time that Joe Manchin tries to dance. Yeah, what are you trying to audition for Dance with the Stars? Yeah, just, waltz out of here. Let's go to the second add-on of checks. The second add-on of checks comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. The president wanted it in there. Bob Casey got it in there for him. And what is this? Free money. This is covered benefits of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. He wanted $250. He got a little bit less. Let's go to the third cluster of checks. Here we go. This is where we find the true deliciousness. They got in there money for seniors, money for free internet. They got in there lots of checks, like cheaper prescription medication, immigration reform. They got in there money for free internet, money for the farmers, money for the independent contractors, and then the seniors. The seniors have two expansions of Medicaid and Medicare on the House side that got in there, which is the Medicaid gap fix and also the hearing. On the Senate side, they vow to add 3 more provisions, which are dropping the eligibility age of Medicare, the dental, and the vision, which truly embodies what we're looking at when we're talking about MSC, which stands for Multiple IRS Stimulus Check. It's an acronym on this channel, and that MSC is something discussed by these legislators since early spring. Back in May, they told thousands of viewers of this channel it's going in there. And then when the legislation landed in the Senate 2 weeks ago, I said, pick up the phone and re-advocate across the board. And you have, and you've done really well. What has happened? Well, we have the wonderful Janet picking up the phone and calling to Chuck Schumer's office the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, being told it's going in there via Bernie Sanders. Lynn Glenn being told the same thing from Chris Coons' office. Tyrell being told the same thing from Bob Casey's office. Same thing to Bonnie from Liz Warren's office, and same thing to Ron Wyden's office to viewer Donnie and his wife Sharon. When we talk about MSC, what are we talking about? Same eligibility as the third stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 less, got it. Married couple, $150,000 less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, got it. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits as well, you got it as well. It is not income. It's not taxable, offered across all U.S. states and also offered for adult dependents. The inclusion of it is still at flux, and that is why you need to advocate until we are over the finish line. The number one guy in that recon, his office says, pick up the phone and advocate until we're law. And that advocacy is very important. What does that message from that chief of staff of that legislator say? That you need to advocate until we are over the finish line, because the situation is very fluid. And you need to advocate to the following: Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Advocate towards its inclusion by picking up the phone and saying, I need it. Calling their offices, speaking to a staffer. Do not use the word MSC. Use simple language. Again, Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Meantime, give yourself some time to advocate for your wallet. And advocating for your wallet involves getting the big money available from third stimulus. In the second half of this video, you're going to meet the viewers who have gotten this incredible Christmas stimulus. It's third stimulus, and the average payout has been $5,000 this last 2 weeks. after viewers got $45,000 from this earlier this year. This is your money, and tonight, for the first time ever, you're going to see how to get additional sums of this third stimulus you've never heard before. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. This stimulus, the latest details on that. Plus, we're going to turn to what the Federal Reserve is doing in the next 48 hours. And, of course, we're going to go over those incredible programs that are going to pay you a lot in this fourth stimulus recon. Get that pen and paper ready because we're about to pass, and this is where the finish line is. The details coming up in the second half of this video. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. But first, here is a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now. Direct from Santa Monica, California, as your recon is becoming law. Here we go. We're heading to that finish line. We're just days away and hours away from a determination for the Senate parliamentarian. The big changes coming to that recon. I have all the breaking news tonight. It is jaw-dropping. Then we're going to go over to the incredible checks that are in this recon. Multiple checks, many checks, upwards of $15,000, but potentially as high as $60,000. Get your pen and paper ready. You're going to win a pounce as a Purple Hawk. We're going to go over all the incredible money available today to pay your wallet big sums of money. This is third stimulus. This is your Christmas stimulus. In tonight's recording, I'm going to show you in the final 5 minutes of this video how to get more of this money than I've ever detailed before. We're going to turn to that student loan debt forgiveness and also to that fifth stimulus. Plus, we're going to turn to the breaking details of what the Federal Reserve is going to do in the next 48 hours. It's very critical because it signals where this economy is going in the next year. All those details and more as we go back over into the second half of this video starting right now. But first, I want you to subscribe. Go right in this video right now and hit that subscribe button. I want you part of this incredible family. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Stay with me tonight as we have a big slate of programming coming up tonight. We have the evenings LALATE programming block, 3 hours of shows with evenings at 5, overnight, evenings countdown at 6, holidays stream stimulus at 7, and then Calcino at 8. And with that, let's go into the breaking news as we see what's going on tonight. And it starts with the latest details from Chuck Schumer and the voting process. I'm going to start first with going over timeline, and then I'm going to go over the substance. All right, timeline. Next week is Christmas. Even in the 1 o'clock show today, someone said, Christmas is Saturday. Okay, if you want to call the 25th of Christmas, I'm calling the 24th Christmas for purposes of recording because I'm talking about the working week. But Christmas is next week. Chuck Schumer represents two different things with two different quotes. In recent days, Chuck Schumer, including today, has had two different quotes. The first quote reads, the recon, fourth stimulus recon, will become a law by Christmas. The second quote is, the recon will pass the Senate by Christmas. Now, let's assume Christmas is the 24th for purposes of this recording, which means they don't have to work on the weekend. The two quotes mean different things. Why? Because getting into law requires at least an extra day than just passing the Senate. Let's go over the equation. he has to have a Senate floor vote one day. He has to have a 2-day vote-a-rama. If he does afford to do it, then that's 3. Then he also needs to send it back to the House. Yeah, it has to go back to the House because they're changing at least one word in the recon. So that is sometimes done in a few hours, but I'm going to give it at least a day. That's 4 days. So he wants the voting to start next Monday, and that would mean he could get it done really tight right before Christmas as law. Is there any room for error? There is none. So can he get the voting, can he get it to law if the voting starts this coming Monday before Christmas? Yes, but it's insanely tight. I mean, it's down to the hour, down to the minute. Can he pass it in the Senate before Christmas? Yes, that's more likely. That's absolutely more likely. What is the takeaway? I really do think it's going to become a law in December. I think it's going to become a law around the 27th or 28th, right after Christmas. But I think he can get it passed in the Senate before Christmas. Now, that is the timeline. Where is the procedure behind that? Well, there's a series of new elements tonight that signals that he can get this done. Number one, conservative and liberal analysts on both sides of the political spectrum agree with me that it's becoming a law in December. They're not saying Christmas, they're saying in December. So there's a consensus about that. Number two, some of the most pragmatic, long-term standing, very intellectual, smart senators who are Democrats saying it's going to get done December because we all know we don't want to do it in January because January is a mess. Why? Because there's a lot of provisions of this fourth stimulus recon that are continuation provisions under third stimulus that are currently law. And the way they wrote fourth stimulus is to say continuing something that's currently law. Well, if it expires, you can't have that language anymore. And they're expiring January 15th, but that means they got to have this to law and vote just fourth stimulus before mid to late December. So we're right on the edge of that. Finally, number three, a new spirit of bipartisan proceduralness between Chuck and Mitch, which you first heard on this channel just a few days ago. Unbeknownst to us, since the month of October, right before Halloween, Mitch McConnell reached out to Chuck Schumer and said, I want to have no more procedural battles with you. I want to do everything procedurally nonpartisan. And Chuck said, fine. And that is why the month started with 4 items they had to do, and they're down to just 1. They got the debt ceiling limit raised and moved. They got the and done. They got the defense bill raised and done. So all that's left is the recon. So I think it's going to become a law in the month of December. Yes. Now, I'm going to have more about this in the final 5 minutes of my commentary. Stay to the very end. I also have more new money for you in the final 5 minutes. Stay to the very end. It's a fascinating final 5 minutes. You're going to see something like you've never seen before. It's in those last minutes of this video. But let's go now into the incredible checks in this fourth stimulus recon. This is where you get out that pen and paper and start taking notes, because you're going to get paid at least $15,000 across these incredible clusters of checks. We're going to go over each of them one at a time, starting right now. They got in there the paid leave. It's a lot of money. $1,700 if you make $75,000 or more per year. If you make $35,000 or more per year, it's $800 a week. If you make $15,000 or more per year, it is $400 a week. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks per year. So yeah, it's $4,000 to $6,000 on the high end. It's a lot of money. If you don't work, but you live with someone that does, and they take you to the doctor once a week, they're going to get the check across the board. All income levels, W-2, 1099, all workers qualify for it. They got in there the SALT cap, raising up how much you can deduct on state and local taxes on the federal tax return from $10,000 to $72,500. They got $40 billion of free job training in there, which is incredible. And then comes the wonderful provision of cheaper medical insurance. There were 12 Republican holdout states that vowed never to pay for this. And so the Democrats got in there a workaround plan. They'll provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income uninsured people in those states, which then brings us to the best provisions, Tire Recon. You know what it is. It is the housing. The housing provision is incredible because guess what? There's 6 provisions in there. 3 are new. They are weatherizing a home, home repairs, and first-time home purchases. And the other 3 provisions are a repeat from third stimulus, rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. But the great news, you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law. You can get that money today, and it's called third stimulus. Get your pen and paper ready because I'm going to show you how to get this holiday stimulus. Why do I call it holiday or Christmas stimulus? It's very simple. You have $1,000 a month rent bill, for example. You don't have to pay it. Someone else is paying it. You have then an extra $1,000 in your wallet. That is far more than enough to go out and buy some holiday gifts. And that is what viewers have learned in the last 2 weeks. Let's take a step back into a year ago this month. In December 2020, we were between first and second stimulus. We were waiting for second stimulus to become law. It was not, and it was the holidays, and you needed money. And I said, I'm going to get you some money for rent and utilities. And I did. And I changed people's Christmases. Like Tyrone, his family 4 out of Boston, got all his rent paid in December for up to the new year, $15,000, gave him freedom and liberties to go buy holiday Christmas gifts and holiday meals. It was incredible. But at the same time, I saw a body of new legislation floating around. And I looked at it, I said, there's a $14 stimulus check in there, and there's other provisions in there. I'm going to call this third stimulus. I coined the phrase. And then at that point, I said, but I'm looking at these provisions in there. I think I can get you about $15,000 of checks. When it became law, I looked at it again. I said, I think I can get you about $15,000. Do not focus on the $14 stimulus check. And when it became law, you pounced. You really pounced. I said, Purple Hawks, you're going to pounce and get this money before anyone else because it's a diminishing return. You want to get it before anyone else. Hawk, hawk. And that's what became the expression on this channel, Purple Hawks. And you did pounce, and you got $45,000 on average. But 2 weeks ago, you and I knew that fourth stimulus was not going to send you out any money you can get in your hand before Christmas. You were never going to get money in your hand from fourth stimulus before Christmas. You needed money for Christmas. And I said, I'm bringing back third stimulus. I'm going to show you how to get money right now. Because viewers, one, didn't know that third stimulus still had money around. So a lot of people had never gotten this $15,000. They didn't know it's still around. Number two, people had gotten money early in the year, $50,000 plus, and they thought, I can't get any more money. I already got it once. No, you can't. So let's go over all the incredible details, starting with incredible success stories. So you can see the success stories. The universality of them is one. Viewers are averaging now $5,000. There's been a low of maybe $2,000, a high of $138,000, but they're hovering around $5,000. They're hovering with about 2 utilities being paid and rent, so 3 items, and they're everywhere. And they're everywhere. We're starting with the incredible story of Amy. She's in Kentucky. Send your prayers and thoughts for all the citizens of the state of Kentucky and those neighboring states ravaged by the tornadoes. This came in before the tornadoes hit. So she got 3 rounds of utilities, her most recent round just this last week, 2 rounds of rent, and most recent round just this week, got SNAP. And she wants people to know that there's money everywhere. Don't think that you're in a rural area, it doesn't exist. She says, thank you so much for your unprecedented dedication helping your viewers attain financial independence during these uncertain times. Your demeanor is always pleasant, positive, witty, and a pillar of hope for the American people. I really appreciate that. The next incredible story came in from Judy. Judy heard my recordings where I said, go get this money to pay for someone to pay your rent, and then you don't have to pay it. You can have an extra $1,000 for rent in your wallet. You don't have to pay for it. You can have that for holiday gifts. She listened exactly. She said, thank you for reporting. I got $3,000 this last week for December, January, February rent. I got $3,000 last year from your channel. I'm going to get rent next year as well. And now I was able to get Christmas gifts. She listened exactly. Sandra got money as well. Incredible details. Then we had Tonya who got money. We had Tyrone Diaz, who got 4 more months of rent. Deborah got 6 months of rent. Says, thank you, Ally. Chef John Meyer is getting additional SNAP as looking to get those utilities. Congratulations to him. The incredible stories keep on coming in, like Robin, who got 3 rounds of one utilities and 3 rounds of other utilities. She says, you're an angel in disguise. I appreciate that. We have D. Miller, who got 4 more months of rent. See the regularity? We're seeing the same numbers over and over again. The comment just kept on coming on in, and send me your comments on social media. If I didn't feature them yet, send to me again on air. Here was another person, Lynn Glenn. You know her. She got rent early this year. She got 4 more months. She said, I'm never going to stop watching you. Love you, Lynn. Here's Madonna. She got 3 rounds. One viewer who I want to focus on is Kathy. She says, you're godsend. I appreciate that. She got about $6,000. There's Morel, who got 3 rounds. There is Mei Lu, who I'm going to feature on this video later. She, at the time when this was printed out, she got about $5,000-$6,000. I appreciate you so much. You're the best. Appreciate you back, Mei Lu. Scarpia got stopped. Melissa Justice got $10,000. And I love Chris's story. Chris started this year listening to this channel, and from third stimulus earlier this year, he got $10,000. He said, I would have never known about this Christmas stimulus, about this latest round, had I not been watching you. And he got another $5,000. So get your pen and paper ready today. Start taking down notes. If you're a member of this channel, pull out the newsletter. Follow along with me, because I'm going to follow with that newsletter starting right now. We're going to get that rent, utilities, mortgages, is more, and boys, it's a lot of money. Now, remember, you can have this money and just use it for whatever else you want to go spend on this holiday season. This is the graphic 3 months ago, 20 to 30,000. Now viewers are getting on average $40,000 for this rent. Where do you get it from? 6 places. City Hall, write it down. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall and State House Authority. Keywords you say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Next, you want to do 3 musts. You must reach out to all 6 places. 2, you must get applications on file as often as you can, wherever you can. Number 3, you must do multiple rounds. So if you got a round early this year, get another round today. If you got a round today from one organization for 2 months, go to another organization tomorrow and get another round for the additional 3 months. Do the same thing for mortgage assistance. Utilities. Reach out to all utility companies. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for this as well. Mortgage assistance, utility assistance because of COVID. SNAP, it's money for food. You shouldn't be paying for your own food. If you got a third stimulus check, reach out to SNAP and get it. And it's going up 25% lifetime. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year. Yes, over 10 years, he's getting $250,000. Here's compost. Nisi and Art Sullivan started it. They had 3 items. Everyone was inspired by them. So I said, do what Art and Nisi did. Get 3 items. Mark was at 2 items at 32. I said, Mark, where's your third? He got it, brought him to 50,000. Now he's over 100,000. Lorraine, she was at 105. Now she's at 120. Keep your pen and paper in front of you because now we're going to go over the incredible story of Johnny, which shows you how to do this correctly. It's a 3-part story. Part 1. Johnny was watching this video 1 week recently with 2 other viewers. They don't even know each other. And by the Wednesday, they each had 3 programs approved, 45,000. But the difference was Johnny was he was listening carefully to the recordings where I said, get as many pots of money as you can. He did. And by the end of the week, he got 7 programs approved. Wow, that is a lot. Now, how did Johnny get 7 programs approved? By making about 15 phone calls in 1 week. That's the way you rock and roll on this channel. Because you have a 20 to 50% rejection rate on the phone. So expect someone to say no, but also expect someone to say yes. And with 15 phone calls, 7 approvals, how much did he get in 5 days? $80,000. Part 2 of Johnny's incredible story follows the following Monday when 2 family members said, what'd you do last week? I got $80,000 from watching LALATE. They said, I've heard about him. Now, what was this for? He said, from third stimulus. They said, I haven't heard this in broadcast media. He said, they don't cover it. He covers it. Let me show you how to do it. And he did. By the end of the week, they each got $50,000. Part 3 of Johnny's incredible story came in 2 Sundays ago. He was having, he sent me a private message that people just kept on coming over the house asking Johnny what he was doing. He showed them, showing the video, showing the channel, people subscribing, him watching the video, showing them what to do. And he said he ended up helping 32 people. I said, Johnny, 32 people? How much money did you get them? He said, of those 32 people, I got them $850,000. Go right on the video right now, folks, and sign up for that membership link. What are you doing? Get that incredible newsletter. It comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That features the big money for you to get. It features stuff featured in this video and brand new stuff you're not going to see on the recordings of this video. First, it features the 6 places you reach out to, the keywords you say, and also it features the big sums of money. But it also features stuff not covered in this video. It features the 5 nonprofits. It features what the nonprofits do. It features one nonprofit that helps with home repairs. It features also the important statement from Treasury you want to read before reaching out to get those sums of money. And with that, let me go back into that 4th stimulus recon, which we left off at the provisions for housing. Wow, so much money in that housing. The other 3 new provisions are first-time home purchases. Yes, this is money given to the seller in your benefit by the federal government during escrow. Then home repairs, low-income households across the board. And then first-time, and then weatherize your home. This is for all income levels across the board. And with that, what are the next provisions which are fascinating this recon? They got $150 billion of in-home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. They got the $550 check for the Pell Grant. They got the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. And then we go to one of the best provisions of the recon, the cheaper medical medication. Yeah, just say medication, the cheaper medication. This is Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D, cancer, arthritis, diabetes, the most expensive medications there are, dramatically sliced from like $1,000 a dose for insulin down to $35 a dose. Wow. It starts with 20 medications on day 1. grows it up to 30 medications by the year 2028. They cannot increase more than the rate of inflation per year, or there's a penalty provision. A penalty provision? Who said you can put a penalty provision in a recon? So says Pat Toomey, the GOP senator. He's right. It doesn't belong in there. And that's what you're going to see in the next hours or days this week. The Senate parliamentarians ruling. The Senate parliamentarian is about to announce what is in the recon and can stay in there and what cannot and has to come out. This provision likely coming out. The immigration reform likely coming out. Previously, she said it cannot stay in there. And the paid leave, don't know what she's going to say on that one. If she leaves it in there, Joe Manchin says, bye, I'm not voting for the recon. So the very, very fascinating issue. If she takes it out, it's a lot of freed up money. So how would they reallocate that money? That's why you got to stay with this video channel for every video, every day for the next 14 days, because if a provision goes out, and money is reallocated to something else, you're going to be confused if you haven't been on the channel for a few days. All right, with that graphic, 15,000, you see clearly that there's a lot more than $15,000 in there. There's everything from third stimulus repeated, which pays about $45,000. There's the new checks on top of that. And with that, one of the other provisions across the board that are included in this incredible recon, well, they got the universal pre-kindergarten in there. We already went over the home health care. We also have in there the hearing aid. That is a check, but 3 provisions of continuations from third stimulus. That's why they need to get them done. The first provision is the child tax credit, front end check, approximately $3,600. The hazard pay, earned income back credit, back end, and then the child care credit, that is a back end check as well. And with that, what are the provisions that the senators would add in there? Well, we're going to go over that in a second, but let's take a detour for just a blink of an eye before coming back to fourth stimulus with that student loan debt. There's a $10,000 offer on the table, folks, to forgive $10,000 of student loan debt. The Democrats should take it. How would this work? The president has already forgiven student loan debts, and for some people, and this would just expand it, he wants to forgive $10,000 of everyone's student loan debts. President previously forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation. People went to work in the nonprofit sector and the public sector after graduation. Meantime, what about fifth stimulus? So fifth stimulus is right behind that. Fifth stimulus basically says that COLA doesn't work. So let's separate one at a time. First, your COLA benefits are going up next year. COLA, a 5.9% rise of all your benefits, is happening on January 1 automatically. You don't have to receive any letter. You don't have to do anything. It's automatic 5.9% for everyone. Now, in the case of some veterans, they're already seeing the move happen in December. Next, fifth stimulus comes right behind it. It says, this doesn't work. You've been undervalued for too long. So we want to get you caught up one big time and then apply a new benchmark, which is inflation starting in December 2022. Well, that is how they want to do that fifth stimulus. Plus, they want to remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty, and love is going to win. Then, let's turn to the surprising anticipation of one of the most important announcements of the year, and it comes from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, in less than 24 hours from now, will give us clarity as to where we're going in 2022 for purposes of the Fed. On December 14th and December 15th, the Federal Reserve will be appearing on top Capitol Hill to describe where it's going on the support of this economy. When the pandemic first hit, people did not know what this pandemic was, nor was the Federal Reserve. Deeply worried that Americans would make a rush on banks and take away all cash, so there'll be no cash on hand. Federal Reserve immediately tried to put liquidity in the market by buying mortgage-backed securities, creating liquidity. Well, no one made a run on the banks. Banks didn't go under. It was no longer an issue. So the Federal Reserve knew since last year it was going to start to remove the support, which is called tapering. It also was signaling that when the economy rebounded, we're going to look at the unemployment rate to see if we had fully rebounded, and if inflation becomes a concern, the Federal Reserve is going to raise rates at the end of December 2022. That's not the focus tonight, folks. That is not the situation tonight at all. The situation is that the economy is too strong, stronger, faster than anyone anticipated, and stronger than we even thought it was 2 weeks ago. And what is happening in the next 48 hours, we're going to see the Federal Reserve is going to keep its previous path of support in 2022, or is going to do the following. My prediction is the Federal Reserve is going to come in and taper faster, which means remove that buying mortgage-backed securities to support the economy, that Fed stimulus, remove it faster rather than slower, and have two interest rate spikes in next year, not one, and the first one very, very quickly in the first quarter of the year, Q1. Now, if that is what happens, Wall Street's crashing. And Wall Street's going to crash very badly on the 14th, 15th, and potentially the 16th, and thereafter. And so is crypto, because Wall Street's not betting for this. It doesn't have it baked into the system. That is why Wall Street has crashed 1, 2, 3 times in the last 2 weeks when 3 economic data points came in so strong that they feared this event from the Fed would happen. Point number 1. Wall Street down 1,000 points 2 Fridays ago when the new jobs numbers came in, once a month number. It showed the lowest unemployment rate since the 1960s. Yeah, it showed a rate that the Federal Reserve was trying to attain by 2022. So it showed we've already reached the Fed's goal of no longer supporting the economy a year early. Number 2 came last Thursday when the new jobless claims number was released. This is people who newly go on unemployment. When I pressed record on day 1 of this channel on April 25th, there was 1 million unemployed new people per week. And we did it 25 weeks over and over. I was recording the same thing. 25 weeks, over 1 million new claims every week, breaking a number from the Great Depression. Well, we're no longer in that situation, folks. We went to 800, 500, 400, 300, and we were hovering on that pre-pandemic number of 235, and then whammo, we zoomed through it. 184,000 new unemployment claims last week, the lowest number since the 1960s, and that's not even adjusting for the population in the United States. The U.S. population now versus 1969 is a much bigger society, and yet we have less claims of unemployment per week than the year before that. There's no way to spin these numbers. And the third number was inflation. It came in last Friday. And back in spring of this year, I was talking about inflation when talking about fiscal stimulus. I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I think I deserve it this time. I was talking about inflation, and I said at the end of the year, I think inflation is going to be 10%. Federal Reserve at the time was talking 1, 2%, maybe sometimes 3, but usually 1 or 2%, saying it was going to be a temporary or transitory spike. In fact, it had a chart. I would usually use this hand gesture, remember? I said it was going to go up and go down, says the Federal Reserve. Some Wall Street analysts were saying maybe 3%. I said, this is all too low. I say 10%. Jeremy Siegel, the head of Wharton School of Business, came in at 20%. I said, maybe he's a little high. Maybe I'm a little high. I'll come down. I felt the peer pressure. So I came down from 10% to 5% for the inflation projection. Way to come in? Was the Fed right at 2 or 3% by the end of this year, temporary? Or was I right? No, I was right. The inflationary number last Friday was 6.9%. 6.9% shows you it was really right on the money of where I said we're going to go. So I believe the Federal Reserve is going to come in with that gangbuster declaration on the 14th or 15th. Get ready for it. It's going to be a nail biter. And with that, we go into the final 10 minutes of this video with a lot of details of what's going on, Chuck, with the vote, what is going on with those provisions, the Senate parliamentarian, how to get additional sums of money right today from third stimulus. Those details coming up right now, plus my commentary of the situation across the board. And it starts right this moment. First, will the recon become law by Christmas? It's very, very possible, but I don't think it will. I think it's going to become law the 27th, 28th. Will become law in the month of December. Absolutely, in my opinion, absolutely. Will it go to a Senate vote and be finished with the Senate by Christmas? It could be, but I'm more focused on what day is it going to become law. Because it's dependent on, you bring back the House members, you do in 2 hours, or it takes you 3 days to get the House to vote on it. So when is it going to become a law? In the month of December. Will you be getting any money for forced stimulus in your hand before Christmas? Absolutely not. No way, no how. Are you getting any money from forced stimulus in your hand by New Year's Eve? Highly unlikely. I had one very nice long-standing viewer in one of the chats earlier today say, well, under second stimulus, I got the check within 2 hours and I got it before New Year's Eve. Yeah, but I made enough recordings about third stimulus where people were not getting their checks until late February. Remember all those waves, wave 1 and wave 2? Yeah. So if you have Cash App and Chime, maybe you get it. Maybe you get this money, before Halloween because they're so quickly delivering the money. No, you're not going to get forced stimulus money in your hand before New Year's Eve. Now, third stimulus, you are. And right now I'm going to show you 2 new ways to get extra sums of money from third stimulus. This is your holiday stimulus. And I'm so excited for viewers like Judy and Amy and Chris and also May Lou, who really listen to the recordings and understand what I'm talking about. You have bills. Everyone pays for rent unless you own your home. And when you go to pay the rent, let's say it's $1,000 a month. Well, if you don't have to pay $1,000 this month because someone else is paying the bill, and you'll never have to pay that month of December 2021 ever because someone else is paying the bill, that's an extra $1,000 that can stay in your wallet. And instead of staying in your wallet, you now have some extra cash to buy some Christmas gifts, extra cash to buy a Christmas meal because you saved an extra $1,000. Well, that is why I brought third stimulus back in this recording. Here are 2 ways to get additional sums of money from third stimulus. First, look at the utilities you've had success stories with in the last 2 weeks. And if you've gotten 2 utilities, go over the ones you haven't gotten. There's 2 other utilities you haven't gotten the money, go get it. And that's why I like May Lou, because listen, she had gotten $4,000 to $6,000 already. In the last 2 weeks, I said, go get another utility item. She got another utility item, $700. She got another check of $700 right this week after she got about $5,000, $6,000 right before it. The second way is get an additional round from a different organization. This is brand new tonight on evenings. So if you got rent, let's say from October to December with organization 1 yesterday, then go get January to March at another organization tomorrow. Yeah, you can do this. Then let's step back and go over perspective and bring it from past, present, and future. And this is where I'm going to bring a lot of tough love in this video. I'm going to really praise some viewers who've done such wonderful jobs. I'm going to give a lot of encouragement, a lot of support, but I'm also going to come in a little bit tough on other people as well. I think it's in times like this that it's important to be sort of a heavy hand, but also a comforting soul. All right. When second stimulus was in the talks, and it was a year ago this month, we were worried it wasn't happening, and we had just finished first stimulus, and you needed bills to pay, and it was a holiday season. I said, I'm going to get you some rent, and I got you the rent, and it made people's holidays. It made their holidays. A lot of those viewers have been with this channel since day 1. They're still here. Then, when I had that first draft of what third stimulus was going to be, I said, you're going to get a lot of money from this third stimulus. You get a lot of money from it, at least $15,000. And you proved me wrong. You got to average $45,000. Over the summer, I said, get another round. A lot of you got another round as well. So you really, really listened well. 2 weeks ago, I said, you know what? There's this money available. I want you to go get it. It'll make a big difference between having a lot of extra cash on hand during the holiday season. And you did. You really listened quite well. What's important to know is that if you never got this money from third stimulus in the last 2 weeks, this holiday stimulus, you can get it right today. You have a full week of calling. You can get it done. If you already got the money, you can get more of it like May Lou did with $700. Absolutely. Give yourself some time to get that money because the cash is king. The more money you get, the better you are. Let's go back and then bring it to the present and forward. This channel launched on April 25th, 2020 with me understanding the need of do a how-to video about explaining certain things. First, I want to explain how to get that EIDL loan approved if you weren't approved. I wanted to explain how do you get FPUC and PUA and PEUC with these new programs that just gone live. How do you do it? What do you do? How do you fill out the application? And that was what this channel was on day 1. Lots of how-to videos. Much like you would open up a YouTube app and say, how do I fix my carburetor on the car? How do I change some tires, flat tire? My video was about how do I get this money? How do I do this? It continued that way all this year. Third stimulus. How do I get this money from third stimulus? Now it's at fourth stimulus. How do I get this money for fourth stimulus? I launched Purple Hawks before there was a membership, before there was emoji. Explained, you know, these programs have a lot of money in them, but they still get used up. Get the money before anyone else. Pounce as a Purple Hawk and get that money first. And that's what I said with third stimulus. As soon as it becomes live, get that money right away. We're doing the same thing now in a fourth stimulus. So it's very important that you bring with you when you're opening up a video every single day, write a pen and paper and take notes. I want to get this check in the fourth stimulus. I want to get that check. I want to get this check. I want to get that check. And then put a question mark. Maybe you don't understand something. There's a new video coming to this channel where I'll be answering some of your questions about how to get programs. How does this program, how does this work? As soon as it becomes law, it's important to know exactly how to get it because first come, first serve. That's how information, education, how to, newsworthy stories are delivered on this channel. It's always been that way. It's always going to be this way with fourth stimulus as we continue into fifth stimulus. Now, earlier this year, I coined a phrase on this channel which described a person who doesn't want to do much of anything. Actually wants to do much of nothing. And that person is the donut guy. The donut guy is a guy that just holds a donut, just says, when is it landing in my bank account? What is the amount? When is it going to land? When can I go to the mailbox? What day is in the mailbox? And I said, this is not a channel for the donut guy. And I know the donut guy is always going to be showing up here and there and there and here. I have nothing to deliver for that donut guy because guess what? I predicted the early part of this year that donut guy will end the year with not a single penny in his name. Not a single more penny, in his hand from any of this money, this recon, than he started the year. He started the year $1,400 stimulus check. I say he's going to end the year with exactly the same amount of money, not a single penny more, because the donut guy doesn't want to learn, doesn't want to use the videos as informational how to, just wants to say what day, when, how much. And even today at 1 o'clock's afternoon show, saw a couple people in the live chat, not members at all, just subscribers saying, what day, when, how much will it be, where is it landing? Do I have to update the account because I want to land the account? Those people are not what the videos are for. And you know the videos aren't for them as well. Those are people who just float around looking for things to automatically land. And automatically landing is not the fourth stimulus recon. It never has been. It wasn't the third stimulus recon. You're going into the new year and imagine the viewers who've gotten $20,000 in that graph, $20,000, $30,000 in that graphic for the rent. Imagine those 32 friends of Johnny's that got $850,000. Imagine Lorraine who got $125,000. Imagine even May Lou who got another $700 just a few days ago. Imagine Lynn Glenn who got 4 more months of rent. Imagine all these people that got those sums of money. And then there's that donut guy who says, what day is it landing? That person is not going to be a happy camper going into 2022 because they didn't learn anything from 2020. We learned in 2020, don't be dependent upon one event and one item and just things automatically. Learn, you treat the videos as informational and educational, and that's where this channel's going. Those of you who have been on this incredible journey with me are doing really well and are going to do better because guess what? There's a lot more money. We have all this third stimulus that's paying out. It's going to continue to pay out into 2022's earlier parts. We have everything for fourth stimulus about to go live, and guess what? As one viewer said in the live chat at holidays today, she said, my neighbors don't know anything about this and they continue to have arguments with me. Well, they don't want to learn about it. I'm not going to have an argument with someone about how to fix a carburetor. I don't know how to fix a carburetor, but I'm not going to have an argument about it. I could go watch a YouTube video and learn it, but I still don't know how to do it. So people who take the time to learn something are a step ahead of time. I said this on day one of this channel, that information makes you powerful. It gives you incredible power. The more information you have, the more educated you are, the more you go ahead and proceed and become a better person alive. The person who does not want to be informed, does not want to learn anything, does not want to be informed or become educated or develop a skill like how to pick up the phone and get this money, that person will be left behind and will be left further behind as time goes on. Next year has a lot of new programs coming to the channel with Metaverse. A brand new show shows you the opportunity of how to make money in a different environment. Crypto shows on this channel are morphing a little bit now covering meta coins, Metaverse coins, with really 3 coins of focus. I've shown viewers like Ann and Yaya and countless others who watch the Metaverse shows how to buy a particular coin, like a stock, at 70 cents before Halloween. It went to $5. Imagine you bought something at 70 cents and then went to $5. Today it's in the $3 range, but it's still up a lot. Imagine, what is that, 800% return in 3 days, 4 days. People are making big sums of money from this channel because they want to learn. And more educational videos are coming to this channel, and I'm excited for you for this entire run. Meantime, I'm excited for you and tonight's programming lineup. We have a brand new overnight scripto on the show tonight. It's about the metaverse and the metaverse coins for you to buy into. It also features the new programming block on this channel. Evenings LALATE, the 5 o'clock show, brand new every night. Evenings Countdown, the 6 o'clock show. The Holidays Street and Stimulus show every night at 7 o'clock. And then Calcino at 8 o'clock. We have shows from 9, 10, 11:30, 12:30, 9, 10, 11:30, 3, and 3:30 overnight that are all about for stimulus as well. Those videos were recorded back in June and July, so they're referring to the future, July. The same programs, so learn and watch those videos. It teaches you about the programs. The more you hear about the programs, the better you understand them. Then I'm back tomorrow morning with a brand new Early Mornings LA. And with that, I want you to become part of this family. So subscribe. Go out of this video, hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Thank you for all the incredible viewers who have gotten that money in the last 2 weeks, averaging out $5,000. Go get more of that money as well. Send your prayers and wishes to Crystal Hunter, the volunteer. She's doing better. She is doing well. Nothing of serious concern. She visited the ER today. She's doing well, doing better as well. And also, join me next as we go into Evening's Countdown, Holiday Stream Stimulus, and Calcino. Have a beautiful evening across the board. Get all these sums of money and stay with LA for more.